Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Bristol United Football Club podcast, the Botcast Football Show. My name is James, and once again this week I am joined by first team manager John Gilbertson. John, how are you?
I'm not too bad, James. Not too bad at all.
Good weekend?
Yeah, lovely weekend. Good performance from us. It's a nice weekend.
Good. I sort of all the results went your way the weekend, so that was good. And like you said, good performance, which we will come on to in more detail in a minute. But first of all, like I always do on podcasts, let's do our mental health and well-being check on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you?
A good 7 today. I haven't
Yeah.
been too well over the weekend, sort of just picking up a few bugs and stuff like that. But apart from that, still good, a good strong 7.
There's a lot of stuff going around at the moment, isn't there? So
There is, yeah.
I think everybody's got something or another. But I hope you feel better soon, mate. And like you said, I'm sure as the week goes on, hopefully you start feeling better. Just on this Saturday, we were just talking about before we started recording. This Saturday coming, the 11th of November. You haven't got a game currently, have you? So you're on the lookout for one, aren't you?
That's correct. Yeah, look on the lookout for an opponent, hopefully.
But it's got to be away.
Got to be away. Yeah, our own pitch is unavailable. They're fully booked this week, so we'll be sort of looking at teams, and if there's any teams out there that can host us, obviously we're happy to split costs and stuff like that. But please reach out.
Yep, cool. So, and that's this coming Saturday, the 11th. So if anybody's interested in the game, if your game's off or for whatever reason, give John a shout or on the social medias, and hopefully they can get a game on. And you won a game on really, because the weekend just gone on the 4th of November, you played Wessex Wanderers reserves in a friendly, and it was a very good game, I thought. And you were proud of the performance?
Obviously, like I said, building on sort of what we discussed over the recent podcast, like it hasn't been the best of starts to us, and we have had a bit of a reset quite a few weeks ago, and we've had a sort of couple of good results in the league, and not having a free weekend last week, we wanted to keep that sort of the playing and the momentum going. And ideally, I was looking for a sort of a team similar level to what we're at, but beggars can't be choosers when you're trying to get friendly. So it turned out we had an offer from Wessex Wanderers reserves, which are sort of considerably higher up in the leagues than us. But yeah, we sort of happy to play them. And what could have been it was a really tough game for us and a tough opponent, and it could have been when you're coming up against opponents like that. Actually, it backfires and you get a bit of a good hiding. But the lads, I mean, again, like we've been saying, it was just about relaxing the lads and playing our football, and it was a thoroughly good game, which ended 1-1. Quite an even game. I thought we edged it over 90 minutes. I thought we was the better side, to be honest with you, and I thought we deserved to probably sneak a win, but always pleased. But the most important thing for me was the performance. We went well. I don't think we went toe to toe. I think we were the better side. I don't think there was. If you was watching that game, you would know which side was the sort of one way above in the leagues.
Yeah, I fully agree. I mean, I wasn't at the game on Saturday because I went to watch Bristol City play, which I got to be honest, I wish I'd come to watch your game instead. But but City won. So, but I mean, I watched the game last night on YouTube, and I fully agree that it was quite an even game, and you couldn't tell that there was a difference in the league positions or the leagues that you're in between the two teams. And I do agree with you. I'm not just saying this because you said it and we're on the podcast, but I do agree that you were the better team overall over the 90 minutes. And
Yeah.
on another day, you could have won.
Yeah, and I mean, we had a few players missing as well from our, like, it wasn't our sort of what you would deem on paper our strongest lineup. And but full credit to the lads. I mean, they've come in and like I gave them this sort of post-match interview that we do on YouTube, and a couple of sort of individual shout outs to sort of Dan Little, who come in at centre back, and Dan's been sort of out of form a little bit this start of this season, but he come in and I thought he was superb Saturday. Ben Jeffrey again come into midfield because Ben hasn't been starting, and again he didn't put a foot wrong, and that went across quite a few of the lads Saturday. I thought they were superb, but for those two in particular to come in just out of the blue like that and and putting the performance they did. It was, I thought they deserved some really special praise.
Yeah, and also I think the team deserves praise as well for sort of getting up for a friendly in the middle of the season, because it's not necessarily the easiest thing to do, is it? Because it could be understandable if some of the players thought, well, this game doesn't really sort of, because it doesn't in terms of league position, it doesn't matter, does it, a friendly, obviously. But I mean, I suppose that's credit to you and the management team for getting the players up for it as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've instilled right from day one in this process. What started sort of 15 months ago with the players is for the players' attitude, they want to win, and I don't think they know how to sort of face. And I know I can speak from first hand when I train with them and join in a half-hour training session of game. I get kicked left, right, and centre. I don't think they know it to play any different, and that's a sort of a nice positive for me to have, because their mentality is, whether it's a cup game, league game, friendly game, or a kickabout, it's they want to win, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, no, definitely, and like I said, it showed big time. And the goal was scored by Josh.
Josh, yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
and
Josh Gilbertson, yeah.
And man of the match was Jack Gilbertson. So a good day for the Gilbertson family.
It was, yeah. And the man of the match was a hard one. And Jack's been close to sort of the last couple of games, but he's slotted into our left back position. He's a right footer. He's never played there before. He's not really a defender either. And in the last 3 games, he's slotted in well. He's been fantastic, and it was an easy choice Saturday. I mean, Jack. What I do like with Jack, he hasn't got a lot of experience in football, but he's the running, his pace, his tenacity, determination, his heading ability for somebody who's not very tall is first class. And what I was really impressed with him was how keen he is to get the ball and get it down and play. And I thought he was superb in the first half. It was a bit harder to see second half over the other side, but I thought he had a great game, but along with many others.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, he certainly didn't look out of place there, did he? And
no.
he blended in well with the team. And like you said, I mean, it was a good all round performance, wasn't it, by everybody? So like you said, it must be difficult choosing the man of the match. I know you said last week you don't like giving it to your son sometimes because you fear a bit of favouritism. But like you said, if they are the man of the match, they're the man of the match, aren't they? And they deserve it.
Well, and that's what I said, and it's not just me who picks the man of the match as manager, because they probably never get it as well. But like Ash, who's the assistant, is very vocal in that, especially when it comes to giving it to somebody like Jack, because, like I said, you do seem to sort of tend to be a bit tougher. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you have, and this is Ash's saying to me all the time, you have to be fair. Just because they are your sons or not your son or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Whoever gets man of the match, they got to get it because they deserve it.
I suppose it works on the flip side as well. If they don't have a good game, you've got to let them know they haven't had a good game as well, haven't you? So it swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it swings and roundabouts. Just on sort of like formation, do you have a sort of preferred formation or?
Well, we not a preferred one. I think myself. I think we have a formation which is our 3-5-2. I think that's our best formation.
Yeah.
But we do swap from time to time. I mean, Saturday we started with a 4-1-3-2. We did change when we went 1-0 down to a 3-5-2. To sort of force the game, but I think that's the superb thing with those lads. They're adaptable in sort of 3 or 4 formations now.
Yeah. And do you spend a lot of time sort of working on formations and looking at different formations, or? I mean, personally, yourself, do you spend a lot of time on it?
Yeah, I do, and we do. I mean, sometimes it's looking at, obviously, I think for any manager, I think you need to look at your players, what players you have, and then pick your formation, because sometimes just shoehorning a formation when players aren't suitable isn't the best thing. So it's dependent on what sort of type of player and where they can play and how adaptable they are.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, the brilliant thing what I'm blessed with a good 5-6 players in our squad, they're equally adaptable in 2 or 3 positions, and that gives us a lot of flexibility. And I mean, just over the last 2 games, we've played like 4 halves. We started with a 4-2-3-1, then went 4-4-2. Saturday we started with a 4-1-3-2 and played 3-5-2. So there's a few formations just over the last two games, and it helps that we can swap in game, and the players know what's required of them. Because there's like I said, sometimes Saturday 1-0 down, you want to push the game.
Yeah, you got to
risk a
adapt,
bit
haven't
more
you?
with the back three.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like you said, it's good that the players have the understanding as well to get on board with it, which is great. Just one question, which is a little bit random, but I wanted to ask it when I was watching the game yesterday. The ball seemed to hit the wires quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, is that to divide the pitch up?
It's they have the pitch there, and it's divided into to four sections, and they're not retractable lines. So you put a net back, but the line stays across, the wire stays right across the pitch,
Yeah,
and
because it was a little bit annoying at times, wasn't it?
well, their manager said to me, I mean, we've had it a few times when we do play on Astro, normally in pre-season, but the manager said to me, he said, like, if you played them in training to hit that wire, they'd never do it. But I think it hit sort of 10 times in the first half. And
it was about that, yeah.
It's just it's uncanny, really. But
I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? And again, it doesn't from a friendly point of view. But I think in a league game, it would have got quite even more annoying, wouldn't it?
yeah, it's been started to get heated a few times with on Saturday, even in a friendly. But
yeah,
that's football.
Well, that's right, and it shows a passion as well, doesn't it, from both teams as well. And we were just saying before the game, before we start recording, the pitch itself on Saturday, even for a 4G pitch, it was still quite wet, wasn't it, because of the weather we've had.
It was, yeah. It was raining right up until kickoff, and to make a change, actually, it didn't rain during the game, which is unusual. But yeah, I mean, it was a wet pitch. I still think that suits us better for the type of team we are, with our sort of the passing and stuff, to have a bit of a wet pitch and zip that ball on a true surface. I think we're better on 4G than we are on grass for some reason at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it's just fortunate to have a game really with the weather.
And like you just said about the passing sort of the passing game style suits you. But I was quite impressed by both teams sort of trying to play it from the back and build up, like, keep possession, hold on to the ball, and build up attacks from starting right from the back. I thought it was quite impressive. I thought, because the reason I say that is because I know a lot of people think, like, I know it wasn't a league game, but you're in Bristol in District Division 4. I'm not sure what league they're in, to be honest, but it's a decent standard of football that's being played.
Yeah, it is, and it does make a change, and I think that brings the best out in my side as well. When we're playing decent opposition, where tries to play football, and credit to the lads, because I said even we can mix it with anybody with the sort of up and under rough housery sort of type football as well. But I think ultimately we're better off against footballing teams ourselves, and I think certainly it parts in the second half where it's something we do work on, whether we press or we don't press in certain areas. But when they was sort of having it around the back and we was just in a position sort of letting them have it, and I think at times then they were really struggling to come through us, and they had to keep a few times sort of they was looking for options to pick it up in the midfield, which we were sort of tightly pressed and marked on. And I think then it allows us then to turn the ball over in right areas. So I think you see the best of us against sides what plays football ourselves, as opposed to sort of more direct sides. But no, I think, and you're right, credit where credit's due. I'm a big believer in playing football, and there's no right or wrong way to play football, but certainly in my head, I don't like that sort of long 50-yard long ball, turn defences around and press. I do like to play football. So as
yeah, and you can see as well. Just sort of like I said, I watch the game on YouTube, and you get the same picture, don't you? But
yeah.
For both teams, and I can't talk. I don't want to talk about them, you know, because I mean they got their own podcast as well, which I was listening to this morning, Wessex Wanderers. But both teams played their best football when the ball was on the floor. And as soon as it went up in the air, the quality, well, obviously the quality of the football went a little bit, but then it got a bit scrappy at times as well.
Yeah.
So I think another thing you just mentioned, which is on my notes to mention as well, is the sort of the fitness of the team, your team, is also quite impressive. And I know you spent a lot of time in pre-season working on the fitness, I saw the videos on YouTube, which if anybody wants to go on and watch, they're on there where you did the bleep test, wasn't it? You did the bleep test video.
Yeah,
And I really thought it sort of showed on Saturday as well. And the goal led from the pressing as well, didn't it?
it did, and it's again a good bit of pressing from Tom Blake, which Tom sort of Saturday done a lot of sort of selfless work as a forward, selfish work, sorry, as a forward Saturday, and it's typical that's Tom all over, plays for the team, and yeah, his pressing then sort of put the defender under pressure, and he sort of passes, and then Josh is as alert as ever as Josh is as a striker to nip in and get the goal, but. You're right in terms of fitness levels. I mean, we do things sort of probably different than a lot of sides. I mean, our team, as soon as it's 1st of June, we're back in pre-season, which is probably 2 or 3, even 4 weeks earlier than most clubs. And we have a good 4 or 5 weeks on intense fitness. And that's covering many things from, like I said, the bleep test, the suicide sprints, the hill runs, long distance, intensity training. And we don't even really get a ball out the first 4 or 5 weeks of training. And it's, I think this last year we done it for the first time. And I think a few of the lads was like, probably, oh my God. But this year there was no moans because they knew how fit they was last year. And how it stood them in good stead, especially in the last 20 minutes of games when we score a lot of our goals because the levels are good. And we play anywhere between 14 and 16 pre-season games as well, bearing in mind that where I know some teams play 4, 5 or 6. So when the season hits, they're young lads, so we can do that. They're not 30-year-olds where you won't be able to go. So yeah, they're in good shape and certainly in good nick for fitness levels in the closing 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I thought it was a really good game. So the week ahead, then training tomorrow night.
Yep, back to training tomorrow night,
and then hopefully get a game on for Saturday. So fingers crossed. And then the weekend after, I know we'll speak before then, but you're in, where is it you're playing? Ilchester, is it?
Ilchester, yeah, in the cup. So Ilchester.
Still not sure where that is, if I'm being honest.
I think it's just the other side of Yeovil.
Okay, I'll have a look on the map later.
So I think it's going to be a good day because we'll probably get a coach, like a minibus down and sort of all go down together. And I mean, we had it last year when we went down to South Petherson, and the away days is always a good one when you're all on a coach together, having a bit of a laugh on the way down. So, and there's nothing like a cup game. I was fortunate enough to sort of do things myself, like when I played in with cups, and I think for me, there's always something special about the cup. It's just a shame. The cup we're in is probably going to be very, very hard for us to win because there's some huge, massive sides way, way above us. And we're not permitted to enter the other cup. So because of our affiliation doesn't fall within Gloucester. So
right.
It's a shame because a cup, I don't think there's nothing like a cup run. And we can only play in one cup, which is going to be incredibly hard for us. Where the other cups, like we've seen teams like, I think it was FC Rangers won it last year and they was in our league. So that's a bit of a shame, but yeah, there's nothing special. As special as the cup for me. And at the end of the day, who knows, like Saturday, if that was a cup game, you'd put it down, we probably lose 4 or 5-0 in terms of the standings, yet we don't. So you never know with the cup. There's certainly a magic to it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and at the moment you've got as much chance as the opposition have, haven't you? So you've got, and also I suppose I mean I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, obviously, but I suppose for that, and I know we'll talk about a bit more in detail next week, but you probably just go and say to the players, just enjoy yourselves, and what would be, won't it?
Well, exactly, and it's something I do sort of even in our league games. Like, we're amateur footballs, as you know, we're a serious club ourselves, and we want to do well this season and the coming years. But you can't lose sight of we're not Championship or Premiership players being paid X amount of pounds. We're in it for the love of it, and from whether it's me, Ash, Sam, or any of the players, if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? We can't never lose sight of. But we're serious. Yeah, we want to win. But we have to enjoy it as well along the way.
Yeah, of course. That's what football's all about, isn't it? Enjoyment. And just away from Bristol United, I said good weekend for you result wise. Obviously, the Rovers got a decent win in the FA Cup, which, as we said before we started recording, it's a win they should have got. And Spurs, how did Spurs get
They
on though?
played.
They're
They
playing
played
tonight, aren't
tonight.
they?
Played Chelsea tonight, so
Yeah,
that's going to be a real.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. A bit of a sort of bogey side over the years, Chelsea for Spurs, and I'm not confident of anything with Spurs and Chelsea tonight. So on paper, you think, well, that should be a own win, but it's a rivalry, it's a derby. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, and I can't really call it, to be honest with you.
No, I'm looking forward to watching it tonight. And I agree. I mean, I probably would say that Spurs are favourites, but that's based on league position. Nothing more than that, really. I mean, Chelsea are a
Yeah.
decent team, aren't they?
Well, and I think they've been playing better than their results. I know they're struggling to score goals, Chelsea, but I've seen them a couple of times, and I think they're playing football-wise. They don't seem so bad as their results are suggesting. So, yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good close game.
I can tell you don't want to predict anything, do you?
No,
Just wait and see what happens, yeah.
Yeah. I think I won't be surprised even a 1-1 draw tonight.
Yeah, I suppose that's not the worst result in the world, is it? I mean, obviously Arsenal slipped out the weekend, didn't they? Which you must have been devastated about.
Yeah, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Villa. So yeah, it'd be nice if we go put
But
a point
again,
or three on those.
just on the weekends, football in the Premier League, and it is really, really starting to irritate me now. It was just another weekend that was dominated by VAR again, wasn't it? And it's just,
It is, yeah, unfortunately.
It just really annoys me. But it annoys me, and I don't know why I let it annoy me, because I know it's not going anywhere VAR, but it's just.
No, to be honest with you, James, and we've talked about this, it's sort of like within our club, and I know I'm probably a grumpy old man up to everybody else because of my age, but I'm sick of it, to be honest with you, and it's turning me off for watching the Premiership.
100%, same here.
Because it's just, I think if you've been around long enough before VAR, they've done it to make the game better, and it's killing it. The decisions is wrong, and it's all we're talking about now instead of the football. And we never used to talk like that. I know refs used to get a wrong call, but we never talked about that level of refereeing as we do VAR, and it is starting to turn me off. Well, it is turning me off of watching Premiership football. Is winding me up, to be honest with you.
It's a shame, and it is a shame because, and then you see the managers like Arteta the weekend as well, and that doesn't help the situation at all, does it? When he come out and said that it's a disgrace and it's a disgrace to the so-called best league in the world and things like that. I mean, personally, and this is my own personal opinion, if you lose a game, it's your fault, or your player's fault. It's not the manager. It's not the referee's fault. So, I mean, I think, sorry, John, I think that applies for every level of football as well. Like, if your team goes out on Saturday and loses, I know referees make bad decisions, don't get me wrong. But if your team goes out and loses on Saturday, the easy way out is to blame the referee, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's certainly something that I don't like myself, and it's very rare I go on at a ref or say anything to the ref, to be honest with you. Like, you're trying to make a decision that isn't right. It is frustrating sometimes when something happens and you get it, but I mean, me kicking off after half hour after game's poor, a Premiership manager doing it's even more so, because I know there's more at stake and more on the line for them, but they're paid money to be professionals. And I didn't particularly think that was a great look for Arsenal within saying it. I get it, and I get him having that attitude behind closed doors, but to come out and say it in 2 or 3 different interviews and then Arsenal to sort of release a press release, sort of backing their manager.
I was just going to say about
great.
that. Yeah, no, it's not. And what is it with everybody releasing press statements and things like that? What's all that about? Everybody's doing it now, aren't they? It's lost, to a certain extent, it's lost all meaning. And I fully agree with what you said. I think it's put not just me and you, but I think it's putting a lot of people off watching the Premier League because, like you just said, all the discussion after is all about technology and referees, not about the players and the actual game that's been played. It's a shame, really. But like I said, it is a shame, but it's not going anywhere. So
I don't think it is.
Just finally, John, what do you think on the Bristol Rovers new manager? Reckon they get one this week or not?
I got a feeling they might stick with the current interim manager. Myself, I don't know is my answer, but I just from a few of the things what I've heard I mean, not rumours. You've heard it in the press this week with the players coming out and some experienced players, and sort of giving up the current manager a big sort of vote of confidence and a thumbs up. And I just got a feeling they might give him that job to the end of the season and then reevaluate from there. But again, I mean, he's had 2 out of 2 wins, but you have to put it in perspective. I mean, he was playing Whitby Saturday. I mean,
Yeah, it's not the biggest challenge.
Do you know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to see going forward, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give him it to the end of the season. And I mean, some of the managers that's been banded around to take over, the names I'm not particularly impressed with. But yeah, it's that's my gut feeling.
This is a problem with social media and that, isn't it? With everybody saying about who's going to be the next manager. I mean, I've taken quite a bit of interest in obviously the next Bristol City manager is going to be, and for the last 3 or 4 days, everybody's saying that Frank Lampard's the favourite and all that. Now, whether Frank Lampard's had discussions with them or obviously I don't know, but I do find it quite unlikely that he has. And now it looks like we're going to be getting the current Oxford United manager. So it's a bit of a difference. I don't know a lot about him really, to be honest. I think he's doing okay at Oxford at the moment. I think they're second in League One or League. I don't know.
Yeah, League One.
Second in League One. But there's a difference between being manager of Oxford. I'm not saying Bristol City are the biggest club in the world. Obviously, they're not. But there is a difference in levels between Oxford and Bristol City. Yeah. But he might come in and might do a good job. Who knows? That's the beauty of football. He could come in and totally turn the club around and start getting good results, and then he'd be loved by everybody, wouldn't he? Let's be honest. So
absolutely,
So just back to the coming weekend, as we said already. If anybody's looking for a game on Saturday, get in touch with Bristol United or John directly on social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Check out all the videos on YouTube as well for Bristol United. There are some good videos on there. Obviously, you can watch the game from the weekend, which I do recommend watching. It was a good game. And you can check out all the silly videos and everything that they've done in the past and the interviews with John and the 20 questions, etc. Also, I've got to say, John, I've got to say this. I bought a Bristol United hoodie off of the website.
Okay.
And it's all available on your website, isn't it? There's a shop.
So it's www.bristolunitedfc.co.uk.
Yeah, then go onto the drop down and there's an option to shop. So I went on and had a look, and because I'm extremely sad, and I know I am, so it's fine. I bought a hoodie and it's good quality. I've got to be honest. It took about 2 weeks to deliver, which is what I expected. It's not bad service at all. Good quality. Is it Joma? Is that how you pronounce it?
It's Joma, yeah. Again, it's something we changed at the start of this year as well, because I mean we had like a supplier of stuff last year, and I got to admit, like the quality was a bit sort of cheap and nasty. So again, it's something we've done is it decided on this year that we was going to sort of change suppliers, and sort of I think we got quite a few items on there for purchase, but it's really good quality. So yeah, and we see a lot of the wives and girlfriends, they're all sort of decked out on match days in Bristol United hoodies and coats and bobble hats. But
I'll fit right in there when I come and watch the game. Now I'll just stand next to all the women.
Yeah.
And just on that, I mean, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but obviously, do you get a cut of whatever's bought?
No, we don't. It's all on there, and we can do if we want to with the current supplier. But again, when we set this club up, it was all about the community spirit, the family spirit. And we make our money on certain events and sponsorships and stuff like that, what we do. Yeah. But no, we offer it's all it costs. We could put a couple of quid on, but we don't. We keep it as cheap as we can for players, fans, or whoever.
Yeah, I thought it was decent quality. I've got to be honest, mate. I wore it down Ashton Gate on Saturday. And I had a couple of people sort of like, I could tell they were looking at me to just say like, what club is it? But, yeah. but that's the whole point to a certain extent, isn't it? You wear it because then people look at it and it might make that person think, they might not have heard of them, they might have done, who knows? But they might then go in and have a little look at the club and that, and it all helps, doesn't it? So,
of course it do, yeah.
Glad to do my bit, mate. Glad to do my bit. Right, We will be back next week with another episode, hopefully looking back on the weekend's fixture from this week and then looking ahead to the cup game. John, thanks very much for joining me again. I appreciate it. And this episode will be available on Podbean, Apple, Spotify and YouTube from Monday evening, I believe. So, yeah, thanks for everybody for listening. Thanks for everybody who's downloaded the last couple of episodes and listened. As always, I always say to anybody who listens to the podcast, any suggestions, ideas that you might want to have discussed, let us know and we can act on that. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your week, whatever game you're off